Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us on this Tuesday afternoon. It is now time for our English Flash News edition, and as usual, I'm Daniel Cook, your host, 6 days a week at 6 p.m. In today's news, the inter-parliamentary meeting between Albania and the EU was held today. After the meeting, the head of the delegation from the European Parliament, Monica Macovei, appealed to the Albanian politics to cooperate in order to achieve progress toward the EU. The conclusions of the meeting were made public by the MP, Taulent Bala. Macovei called the political parties to exclude every candidate with criminal records from their ranks, not only in the local elections of June 21st, but in every electoral process in the future. She said, "We urge the political parties not to include incriminated candidates in the lists on June 21st and also in other elections. The incriminated must be removed from the administration, from the police, and from any other public office. Secondly, we urge you to make an unbiased investigation into the accusations of the MPs. The judiciary must work independently, even though we know that this is difficult." The parliamentary meeting between the EU and Albania was finished without a joint declaration between the majority and the opposition. The co-chairs of the Committee of Association and Stabilization read a joint declaration, but it was not signed by the opposition. The declaration included the commitment of Albanian politics to the realization of the reforms that will lead to the EU membership. The MP Taulent Bala, who is acting as the Albanian co-chair, had this to say regarding the opening of the negotiations. The performance of the process of reforms may receive an evaluation, maybe in the fall or within 2015, with the opening of negotiations for the EU membership. We consider the granting of the candidate status to be a recognition of the steps and reforms that we have undertaken. We express full commitments to the EU membership as the only alternative for the future of our country. We support the agreement of December 24th, and we will expect all parties to adhere to the commitments that they have made. We underline the importance of dialogue and the political consensus as provided in the agreement, and the need for cooperation on EU integration reforms, said Bala. But does the European Parliament see this objective as being reachable? Monica Macovei said, "If the criteria are fulfilled, this will be possible. The membership may take some years, but first, you must make these reforms before there will be any political decision." The U.S. Ambassador Donald Lu met with the Chief Inspector for the Audit of Assets, Mr. Ganai, today. The process of declaring assets is one of the most powerful tools for detecting and deterring corrupt or criminal behavior from public officials. The United States strongly supports the Inspectorate's mission and expects the court to take their criminal lawsuits seriously, even when they involve members of the Parliament, judges, prosecutors, or other high officials. The institution has a key role to play in the fight against corruption, a fight which is essential for Albania's European integration and its democratic development. The head of the Inspectorate said that they are determined to stop corruption and to increase the transparency for the public. The state police have reacted to a document that has been released by the media, a document that is supposed to be a state police secret. The document that was released is a police report on Mark Froku. It says that he took a drug trafficking suspect under his protection and stood in the way of his arrest. The state police have reacted today to the publication of this report, saying that this document that the media has publicized is a police secret. According to them, the publication of this report may put the police officers who are part of this operation at risk, as well as jeopardizing the entire investigation. The Democratic Party sees the publication of the report as direct blackmail against the main witness of the case of Tom Doshi. According to the General Secretary of the Democratic Party, Rama and Meta are using criminal tactics to manipulate the case. Mark Froku himself has reacted to the accusation as well. He said, "The accusations are part of a scheme to destroy my image. I have not helped anyone involved in criminal activities or who is wanted by the police. I have never used my immunity to help such people. I have never avoided justice, and I have proved this." I act with different standards than those of my accusers. I deny any accusation that I have been involved in criminal activities, said Froku. Tom Doshi went for the 7th time to the prosecution today. When he left, he made the statement that the plot against him is real and that the prosecution has enough evidence to work with and investigate this case. A court session was held today for 6 out of the 9 jihadists who were arrested last year for recruiting Albanians to go and join the fight in Syria. The session ended within just a few minutes' time. The men declared that they do not know the law, they know only Allah. Jihadists made the choice not to be represented by a defense lawyer, stating that Allah defends them. The prosecution informed them of the charges against them. After 1 year, the prosecution for serious crimes has declared this case to be closed and sent the investigation files to the court. The 9 defendants are accused of sending 70 Albanian citizens to fight in Syria, with women and children among them. The defendants were arrested on February of 2014 at the order of the prosecution. According to the Prime Minister, the company Alpetrol is going to be privatized within the year 2015. The news was announced by Prime Minister Rama during his speech at the Energy Summit today. The summit was attended by the most important players in the oil and gas industry. The Prime Minister promised the investors that the entire process of privatization will be transparent. The Minister of Energy and Industry, Damian Gjiknouri, stated that in Albania there are 13 areas that have cheap oil and gas. He said that investors should take advantage of the opportunity that these areas provide. Albania's oil and gas reserves are now at 400 million tons. According to the Minister of Integration, the process of integrating Albania into the EU cannot be done without Albania's entrepreneurs. With that goal in mind, the Ministry of Integration and the Chamber of Commerce have signed a cooperation agreement today. Minister Gjosha made the statement that the agreement was very important for the process of integration. She said that the business sector is an invaluable partner, and according to her, sustainable economic growth development is needed, because EU membership will not be possible without it. The head of the Chamber of Commerce, Nikolin Jaka, said that Albania is close to the opening of negotiations with the EU. For him, this agreement means higher standards for the Albanian consumers. According to the new agreement, the Albanian entrepreneurs will become allies of the governmental bodies on the road toward the EU. Albania's young architects have had the chance to show off some of their ideas through a brand new competition. The Ministry of Urban Development, together with the Association of Architects, has held a competition for the new and upcoming architects of Albania. 25 projects that present different ideas for cultural diversity in the country were presented by the competitors. Only 6 projects were selected as winners. The Minister of Urban Development, Eglantina Germeni, said that this competition is going to be established as a new tradition in order to field new opportunities for Albania's young architects. The winning project of the competition is the reconstruction of the Church of Vau Ideas. The project was designed by the architect Arba Bajaku. That concludes our news for this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. Please join us again tomorrow at the same time for more Albanian news in English. Thanks, and have a great night.